It's your favorite day of the week, baby. It's Wellness Wednesday! Happy Wellness Wednesday, you guys. Make a W with my body maybe from now on. How you doing today? Happy today. We got something good for you. If you work out, or really if you don't, we know that protein is involved in, of course, many things, but muscle building is one of them. That's for sure. Does it matter, though? If I get that protein from animal-based foods, from meat, or plant-based foods, am I a vegetarian or a vegan? Am I not getting the same quality protein? Is 20 grams 20 grams? Or does it really depend when it comes to supporting muscle growth from protein intake? The quality of the protein matters, how well you absorb it matters. Now, before we get into any of that, the big picture here, recent trial was very interesting. And it showed out of 40 people that for 9 days had all these different diets. Some of them were omnivorous balanced, so they had meat and plant-based foods. 70% of their calories came from meat, if you were curious. Now, balance means they had the food over 5 hours. Does the timing of intake matter? We'll talk about that too. The other was omnivorous unbalanced. They ate the same amount of protein, same stuff, animal and plant-based food, but all within 3 hours. Then you had vegan balanced and unbalanced. Of course, the vegan group, it was all plant-based food. And the balanced had it over 5 hours, the same amount of protein as the unbalanced group had, who had it over 3 hours. The results of the trial showed there was no difference in rates of muscle protein synthesis between all of the groups. And what is muscle protein synthesis, and why might this have been? Muscle protein synthesis is pretty much what it sounds like. Muscle protein synthesis. So in our muscles, we are synthesizing proteins. And what are we making them or synthesizing them from? Amino acids, right? Now, more specifically, essential amino acids are very important here regarding muscle protein synthesis. And they're called essential because we need to get them from nature. Our body doesn't produce them itself. Now, another really important thing when it comes to MPS, aside from the amount of essential amino acids in that protein, is how digestible it is, how much we can absorb, or how bioavailable it is, we should say. So if you have a lot and you can't absorb it, it ain't gonna do you any good, right? So what's the quality of the amino acid profile and how well can we absorb it? Well, in general, plant-based foods are considered inferior to meat or animal-based foods like eggs. In terms of their essential amino acid composition, they do not have all of the ones required by our bodies. And then, on top of that, they're less digestible, they're less absorbable. So this is one reason that vegetarians or vegans can have low amounts of protein in their system. Maybe it's hard to promote muscle growth. And maybe that's one reason that eating plant-based foods does not support MPS as well as eating meat. But that comes with a caveat, as there's almost everything in the world, and especially in the nutrition and supplement world. If you're having plant-based food, say you're having beans, right, or peas, and they don't have all the essential amino acids we need for that muscle growth, that MPS, muscle protein synthesis. We'll just call it muscle growth. We don't have all the amino acids. They're missing like 1 or 2, right? If you have just them, you're just missing those 1 or 2, and you needed them to make it happen. But if you had many different plant-based foods, maybe another one had the leucine that the peas were missing, or the isoleucine that the beans were missing, or whatever it is they're missing, maybe you can kind of fill those puzzle pieces together by having many different plant-based foods that complement one another. And so if you have multiple sources, or especially sources that are complete protein, meaning they have all of the essential amino acids in the first place, something like quinoa. They're rare in plant-based foods, but they exist. Quinoa, something like chia seeds, something like mycoprotein. Myco is fungal, right? So it's a protein derived from some fungus. Right? They have all the essential amino acids, and that's good. Right? Mycoprotein amino acid profile mimics that of milk, if you were curious, which has all the good stuff, right? So if you have one really good one like that, or a collection of a few regarding plant-based sources of protein, and they can complement one another to give you all the ones you need, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, then maybe we can support MPS to a similar degree as eating meat. But I think there's still one major reason that meat rules to support MPS, and aside from that, and I'll talk about that at the end, right? Now, these trials that have shown MPS is higher or muscle growth when you're eating the meat than plant-based foods, unlike the one we mentioned, right, which showed they were equal, right, from plant or meat, they typically use less than 30 grams. They use less than 30 grams in only one plant-based source of protein. So it's very easy to see how, okay, at one source, maybe you're missing some of those essential amino acids. If we combine and we use something like mycoprotein, we'd be better off here, right, for muscle protein synthesis. But when you have more than the 30 grams, or you have multiple different plant sources, the rates are pretty similar in some trials, including the one aforementioned. So what is it about the timing, though? You know, how does timing matter? If I eat all my protein at once, am I going to build the same amount of muscle if I have the 80 grams right now, or if I have that 80 grams over the entire day? Does muscle protein synthesis continue to increase if I have 300 grams at once? Not in the short term. If you have a lot at one time, or you have a little bit at one time of protein, say up to 30 grams or so, your rates of muscle protein synthesis will be the same. But again, this comes with a caveat. That's only for the first few hours. Afterwards, your body's very intelligent, right? So it holds on to the rest of that protein if you had more right after your workout, and you absorb it later. It releases CCK, cholecystokinin, from the intestines, tells the stomach to delay gastric emptying, or to delay emptying the contents into the duodenum and jejunum and ileum, where it's going to absorb the protein, right? So for the hours to follow those first few hours, you will absorb more if you had more. And let's supplement that with another trial here. So they had a bunch of people, and they had milk protein, either 25 grams or 100 grams in one dose. They measured rates of MPS following ingestion, and for 4 hours, the rates were the same, whether they had 25 grams or 100 grams. But the latter 8 hours, hours 5 to 12, the group that had the 100 grams had a 40% higher rate of MPS. So the body held on to that protein, and it used it to build muscle later on throughout the day. Okay? So what is the issue with plant-based sources of protein being your major source when you're looking to build muscle? Okay, Shane, wait. You said if I have many different ones, and they're good ones, that it's the same. Sure. But guess what? They still even could be less absorbable, but say they're even absorbed fine. Say that. How many bags of quinoa do you have to eat to get 100 grams of protein? How many pieces of wild-caught salmon do you have to eat? Right? Maybe 4 of these pieces of wild-caught salmon. Quinoa, I mean, you're eating like how many calories to get the same amount of protein? If you're having plant-based foods, it's so many for protein. And they're great for a myriad of other purposes, like fiber and micronutrients, that, folate and magnesium, vitamin E, and all this stuff, right? And vitamin C, plants, whatnot. That we're not getting maybe from meat. But in terms of protein itself, meat. Meat is king, wild-caught, grass-fed, grass-finished, no antibiotics, no hormones. The good meat definitely rules there. So, as a summary, right? If you guys are like, you said a lot of stuff and I'm trying to get it. Just know that in terms of growing muscle, we would like to eat meat. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, then eat a few different types of foods and opt for ones that have complete protein. They have all those building blocks we need from nature to make muscles, right? Things like the chia seeds are fantastic, which are relatively low in calories and have a robust nutrition profile in general. A ton of fiber, magnesium, a lot of good stuff, right? So mix and match, and if you're having the meat, that's probably king because you have less calories as well. Does the timing matter of when you eat the protein throughout the day? No, not nearly as much, really at all, relative to how much total protein you had for the day. That's the most important thing, is to make sure you're getting ample amounts to support muscle growth. And that can get up to 150% of your body weight in grams if someone's looking to bodybuild, right? For the average person, just don't go less than your body weight in grams. That's what I pretty much tell everybody, right? You're looking to burn more fat, 110, 120 to 150% of your body weight in grams. Build more muscle, burn more fat, protein, higher protein from whole food. Number one thing you could eat to burn more fat. So that is what we got for you guys. I hope you found it interesting. And I found a hell of a lot of fun. I love today When Wellness Wednesday. I'm so glad that it's here because it's great. Robbie Vegas, how you doing? Raven Lips, Malcolm, Danielle, Rich. What's up, brother? Nilo, Chandon, Beef. Shelly, how are you, darling? Dave, what up? Hippolito, and I don't know. As for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you next Wednesday, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but you're damn right we'll see you then. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much, and happy When Wellness. Can't wait for next week. What's up, Sylvia?